flash. Put your enemies down before they do the same to you.
100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Don't spend all that ammo in one place.
Their virtual ones. You want to learn something new today, do ya? I'll learn you something. In 2003, on the original Xbox, the game Unreal Championship made history by becoming the first console game to get a post-launch update. According to one of the devs, work on this patch began roughly 3 to 4 weeks after the game shipped, and the decision to ship it came after reviewing the forums and hearing the feedback from fans about exploits that started to pop up. It's important to note that the idea of post-launch support, at least on consoles, began as a way to address fan feedback and fix problems that flew under the radar. Because, oh shit, we fucked up. You're not supposed to be flying across the map like that. Because back in the day when you complained about a game on a forum, you didn't expect anything to happen because the game was out. They couldn't do anything about it. I think once the Halo 2 map pack came out, that and Unreal Championship became the launch pad for live service games to really take off. Unlike my fucking vacuum cleaner, I've been waiting on the new update for this goddamn forsaken piece of shit. All you have to do to understand trends in business is follow the money. Why is Activision Blizzard suddenly taking an interest in all the sexual harassment allegations floating around their workplace? It's not because it's the right thing to do, it's because they're getting sued. Why are so many videos on YouTube exactly 10 minutes long? Money. Because that's what we can put mid-roll ads in. Why is every single company putting a battle pass into their video game? It's not because every player is like, yes, I love it. I love battle passes. No, it's because money. Because why settle for a one-time purchase when you could have more? Hi, Billy Mays here. Game production used to be a fire and forget kind of business. The game launches, it's out, that's it, fellas, pack it up, we're working on the next one. And honestly, if you're gonna put that much effort into creating a game, you want it to pay off. You want it to do well and last a long time. Money makes the world go round.
It's just good business.
Some companies want to avoid the risk of investing millions of dollars and thousands of man hours into a product that only turns a profit when it comes out and never after that. That's why the business model evolved. It started with expansions, re-releasing the same game just slightly different and with new stuff. Then it was DLC and map packs, horse armor, extra custom class slots, microtransactions, loot boxes, season passes, and now battle passes. Inflation has risen, but the price of new games hasn't, unless you're Sony. You think you're better than everyone. Most consoles are sold at a loss of profit. Developer size and budgets have risen tremendously, and with that, expectations. Companies want to avoid big risks. If they can placate a game's disastrous launch by saying, oh, it's going to be live service, we're going to work on it, then that's what they'll do. Live service attempts to mitigate the risks and sunk costs of game development. Used to be, you bought a game, brought it home. If it was shitty, then it was just a shitty game, and that was it. But then one night, you find yourself just staying awake thinking, man, maybe Superman 64 wouldn't have sucked gorilla balls if it was a live service. Nowadays, you're allowed to release bad or poorly optimized video games as long as you say, well, it's shitty now, but it might get better, said every developer of an early access survival game. Trust us, this one isn't a scam. I don't think anyone has the boomer hot takes that games were better when they were never updated. People that think that that's what you look like right there. In an ideal world, a live service would make every game better, objectively, right? I'd kill a man to get more maps in Mario Party 3. Live service experiences weren't so controversial when it was MMORPGs, but once games like Destiny, Fortnite, and Call of Duty started picking up the torch into the mainstream, well, that's when all hell broke loose. Updates, patches, and new content are essential to the live service business model, and it's become commonplace for new titles to have roadmaps, blog posts, video updates, interviews, hot fixes, new maps, patch notes, battle passes, seasons passes. We're taking out this character, we're putting that character back in. I think Jeff Kaplan showed his ass hair on camera at once saying it was going to be in Overwatch 2. And it's like, is the game finished yet? Can I have the fun? Is the fun now mine? The live service experience can easily get muddled and confusing to casual gamers. I already keep track of my bills, my insurance, and the decline of my physical well-being. I don't want to keep track of every update for every live service game. For example, when Halo has always had split-screen campaign co-op, and then one day it doesn't. And it's like, sorry you didn't read blog post number 503-7C. Fuck you, by the way. On the flip side, when new seasons are coming out for an already existing game, that can generate a lot of hype. But staying up to date with live service games, particularly ones you're really invested in, can feel like reading a fucking manga. Like, miss one issue, and now you have no idea why a support hero can outduel Reinhardt. With so many games and so many updates, players generally stick to like one or a few live service games at a time, because there's such a big investment on the player's part. Right? It's all the reward structures, the daily login bonuses, daily challenges, weekly challenges.
We've taken the lead.
There's all this vaulting of content and limited time events. Everyone's trying to get you to feel like you're missing out. Remember to rewatch this video after you finish watching it for the memes. But it's like, are you really gonna stay committed to the Vanguard grind when Modern Warfare 2 is out right now? There's probably people still playing Vanguard. What are you doing? What are you doing?
What are you doing?
If done right, live service can be a saving grace and a guardian angel. Live service in early access means developers can release their game, gauge player interest, and make changes before putting all this fucking time and effort into a project. Because they might not be making a good game. Early access can help guide development towards the ideal finish line that the players and developers want to arrive at. The best case scenario you can hope for is to be Fortnite. The game's so good at its live service, it's actually annoying. Time and time again, as far back as 2012, when, guess who, EA again, President Frank Gibeau said, "I have not greenlit one game to be developed as a single-player experience. Today, all of our games include online applications and digital services that make them live 24/7, 365. In other words, if we can't make this game a live service, then we won't make it at all."
Why? Because fuck you, give me money!
You know BioWare? Yeah, that company that was renowned for making single-player RPGs. Hey, give them an MMO FPS and let's see what happens. This idea that every game should be a platform or a service isn't exclusive to EA, but they seem to be the ones most convinced this is the only option for the future. Like, did anybody ask for Assassin's Creed to be live service? Like, isn't it enough that they already make the damn things once a year? Game development has been heading towards this homogenous blob where like every game looks the same and its menus are the same, and the way you unlock things is the same. With co-op coming to Dead Space 3 and multiplayer rumored for Dragon Age 3, it seems that the idea of solo-oriented experiences is now dead to EA, as is variety, it seems. The inexorable march towards video games becoming one indistinguishable mash of gray sludge continues. Live service has radically changed the way sequels are produced, if they are at all produced. Right, Rockstar? Making new games is hard. So let's put all our eggs in one basket and just invest in that. Oh, what's that? We made $8 quadrillion? Yeah, that's a reason why Grand Theft Auto 5 has been on 3 console generations. Don't get me wrong, being a live service is an incredible tool to have at your disposal, but not every game needs to be one. What publishers need to realize is that, like my new vacuum cleaner, it's okay to just make something good and leave it at that. You know, at what point does the idea of providing a service conflict with providing a fun experience? I'll tell you when it affects the bottom line. So, okay, we've established that player retention is the most important factor, right, in a successful live service. We need players, more possibility for spending, more ways we can monetize. Management needs to hit a bottom line to continue justifying this. Again, please subscribe to my OnlyFans. Most systems in modern video games are focused on maximizing player retention. Once you understand this, everything about modern gaming falls right into place. You begin to understand why social features have been disappearing, why scoreboards are now a hot button issue, why post-game lobbies disband, why you can't vote on maps anymore. You start to realize there's a reason games launch like shit sometimes, and why FOMO has become such a popular acronym recently. If there's a choice between adding a feature that objectively makes a game better and removing it to potentially increase player retention, what do you think the publishers are going to choose? Live service at its worst is the term minimal viable product, as in the bare minimum we can do without getting sued. All we have to do is put out a game that won't get us sued. I feel like this idea of live service has been twisted and warped in the minds of some developers and publishers into thinking, well, if it means it increases player retention, then it's automatically a good decision. Not always. Developers like 343 might see the resounding success of Fortnite and Destiny, so they then try to copy what those games are doing without any regard for how it affects theirs. Same with all those shitty battle royales. Once one person does something really successful, then everyone starts copying them. It happens everywhere. We can't allow you to choose what color your armor is in Halo because that conflicts with the service we intend to provide through carefully controlled coatings. Stupid. No, you can't just choose the color red. You need to unlock it or pay for it. In a lot of examples, live service fucks with things that were already fine to begin with. When someone tells me their game is a live service, my first thought is, okay, so shit's getting cut. Instead of prioritizing a fun, rewarding progression system, companies instead bottleneck progression, monetizing it, making it as tedious as possible. Companies have fully tapped into FOMO culture of gaming, and now every major release is scientifically engineered by a group of computer nerds to be as addictive as possible. They've mathematically crafted games like Overwatch 2 to take 327 years to unlock every cosmetic. In reality, people don't like being told how to play a video game. How about this? Let's have the most extreme example. Next Call of Duty game, the only way to level up is through a single challenge for each level, and every time it gets more obnoxious. To get to level 2, all you gotta do, stick players with Semtex 15 times in a match. If you make that progression system, everyone runs around trying to stick you with Semtex, and the game fucking blows. Progression systems can dictate how people play a game, and if you mishandle that, it fucks it up. Live service also, as we all know, leads to the restriction and drip feeding of content. The live service can also make games far more complicated than they need to be, like Diablo Immortal with its 800 different in-game currencies, or League of Legends that honestly didn't need more than 120 champions. You could have stopped there. I remember when my buddy brought over the game 7 Days to Die after it came out, and all I could think was, holy shit, dude, you just got scammed. Like, This video game is so bad, it's a scam. It was one of the most unfinished games I'd ever played. And I didn't have the heart to tell him. He was like, yeah, it's pretty bad now, but I hope they can fix it. And I sat there and I was like, homie, why are you playing something that don't work? I don't care if you plan to make your game better. If it doesn't capture my interest when I play it, I'm out. I'm a human being with limited time on this planet. I'm not gonna waste it eating garbage. Sure, Sea of Thieves and No Man's Sky, they might be incredible 10 out of 10 games right now, but they weren't when I played them. And I checked out.
Your game sucks. I don't want it.
Gamers have so little patience for failed live service experiments these days because so many are already up and running with years of work put into them. I mean, Destiny had so many updates they had to remove content because the game was so big. Which brings me to my next point, competition. It's fierce. Succeeding at providing a live service grants the highest of highs, but failing, it's just sad to watch. Fallout 76, Anthem, Halo Infinite, Evolve, Marvel's Avengers, Battlefield 2042. The graveyard of failed live service games is big. There's a lot of graves out there. Lots of games with high aspirations that promise the world and more, and yet failed to deliver. It's unfortunate that live service games now have this expectation of launching broken and missing content. Sometimes I can accept that. If the premise of a game is so good that I want to stick around, I will. You know, Battlefield 4 was broken for like 2 weeks to a month, but at the end of that tunnel is arguably the best Battlefield in the series. After release, you need a dedicated team right off the bat on the racetrack ready to keep the go-kart moving. You've started the engine. Now supply it with fuel and oil. Call of Duty, despite all of its problems and everything I bitch about, has always been really good with updates and bug fixes. You know, Vanguard might blow ass, but they added a pause feature before 2042 gave us a scoreboard.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
Look at Overwatch 2. Blizzard has already had to disable 3 different heroes because of glitches. Like, I'm sorry, weren't you just re-releasing the game you had before? You can't let that happen in a game where heroes are balanced a certain way and how they fight each other. The live service should never be, we launched the game, now stay tuned for when it's playable, because the store is always fully intact, no issues whatsoever. Live service has become the excuse developers use when they say fuck it and turn in their essay that has 3 sentences written. It's why so many games are allowed to release unpolished, incomplete, and downright busted. And notice I said the word allowed, because people have to approve this shit. They know what kind of game they're putting out. You don't think homie right here knew what Cyberpunk was gonna be? Huh? Think again. Look at it. Look in his eyes. He knew.
Myself and the board are the final decision makers, and it was our call to release the game. Although, believe me, we never ever intended for anything like this to happen.
Liar!
She pulls my trigger,
like I said, back in the day, oh, you made a shit game? Sucks to suck, time to move on. You can't do nothing. Now we need to make a new game that's not a dumpster fire. That was the pressure back in the day. You had one shot. Wasn't always the best, but, you know, gave us Halo 2. Without the luxury of fixing it later, developers were forced to make games great on day one or not at all. If you can't hit the ground running, if you keep overpromising and delaying features and putting out irrelevant roadmaps, then you fall dead in the water. A victim of countless other live service games doing what you're trying to do, but better. And gamers also have to think, wait a minute, should I even invest my time grinding the progression system or getting fans? Should not be forced to wait for an actual Battlefield title when DICE fucks it up. Overwatch fans shouldn't have to wait 50 weeks just to get one legendary skin. If games don't succeed to expectations, the budget gets smaller. Members of the team move on to other projects. Promised features get pushed back, eventually cut, and all the people who held out hope for the game lose faith, and the well dries up. When a game turns into a live service, it can blur the line between when it's complete or still a work in progress. At what point should a developer stop updating and meddling with their own creation? League of Legends was once my most played game, but now, so many of the champions I used to love playing have been completely reworked. For better or worse, I can never play the old Galio I used to love. And that's another thing, the skin I bought for him, I didn't know they were gonna change the hero. You know what I mean? Now that skin isn't worth anything to me. Game Pass, Xbox Live, PlayStation Plus, Nintendo Online. Gaming as a service isn't going anywhere because it makes the most money that way. So while there are a lot of benefits to live service, most games aren't able to capitalize on them. Instead, they fall into all too common pitfalls of getting too ambitious, releasing the game broken, having egregious microtransactions, and anti-fun design. Because if the game sucks and everyone stops playing, then who's the live service for? So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, and subscribe to the Act Man for more awesome content. And don't forget to check out the Grand Mafia. Get your Stromboni up in there. Alright everyone, that's all I got for today. This is the Act Man signing out. Peace!
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 is
suicide instead of living. Tell me what to do instead of dreaming. Let me die for you. If I could see the darkness in our minds and their tainted eyes, I'd make it right. We're marching to the beat of genocide. We're killing at the whims and tides of a nation, fractured at the seams, breaking apart for the world to see. Break free from controlled reality and fight your way from this, to get away from it. I'm losing my mind, have I lost my sight? If this quicksand has gone over my eyes, how can I see anything? We're shadows in the current enterprise of institutions made to control your lives. We're inside breeding, concocting all the lies that we use to control your mind. Break free from control reality and find your way from this, to get away from it. I'm losing my mind, have I lost my sight? If this quicksand has gone over my eyes, how can I see anything?
Did you think I'd leave you there? Did you think I'd never keep my promise to? It's easy when I'm lying there with you, and every night I dream of you, and every night I promise to hold on to the dream I one day wake up next to you. Did you know you left me there, staring at the heartache in my soul, as I fell to pieces into the one you're leaving for? There's only one thing I want you to know, is that I have found my peace here. Did you think I'd walk away? Did you think I'd break my promise? Not today. It's easy when I'm standing there with you, yet every day away from you. It's another day I break my promise to hold on, 'cause holding on is harder than I knew. Did you know I left you there, staring at the heartache in your soul, as your heart fell to pieces into the world you're leaving for? There's only one thing I think you should know, is that now you can rest in peace, dear. I only ever wanted you to stay. I only ever needed you. I only ever wanted you to stay. I only ever needed you. I only ever needed you.
on the old roofs, come now see them align. With a watchful gaze on the skyline, we look to the sweep of the stars. My friends, through many long lifetimes, I guide your way from afar. Moonlight blue, grace in the glimmering stars are glowing anew. Moonlight blue, fates in the shimmering, such a beautiful hue. Here's to you. You stand, a friend through the ages, true-hearted and stern. New hands clasped in the changes, pulls compel you to turn. And the ghosts they lie under roots deep, where golden tresses decay. The mark still burned in the still sleep of those I had to betray. Moonlight blue, grace in the glimmering stars are glowing anew. Moonlight blue, fates in the shimmering, such a beautiful hue. Here's to you.
I've looked back tooth and gray hide. So long I stood by your side. We saw the stars in the sky, but on this path we soon must part.
Underneath the moonlight blue, grace in the glimmering stars are glowing anew. Moonlight blue, fates in the shimmering, such a beautiful hue. Moonlight blue.